My name is Zach Blatz, and my site is called All Minnesota Sports. My original thoughts for the project was to create a site that was all about the state of Minnesota that would encompass everything from sports to historical facts, general information about state parks and things like that. But due to time constraints, I decided to focus on a more specific topic, and that is how the idea for a sports-related website came to be. The goal of All Minnesota Sports is to provide the best one-stop shop of all things sports in the state of Minnesota by gathering as much information about um, teams as possible in one place. The target audience is sports fans of all ages in the state of Minnesota. Um, on the site index page, there's a brief section of content that gives a broad summary of each team, with the header for each section being the link to their respective pages. It also contains a basic header and footer section, like most websites. Each team page is laid out with a style similar to the index page. These pages have three main sections. One that lets you look at owners, general managers, and the head coach of the team. A second that will let you look into the team captains, and a final section that holds facts and info about the team in general. Um, the final unique page style would be a review page, which is exactly what it sounds like, a page that will hold a site review form um, to meet the form validation requirements of the project. In the index page, the use of an array, a variable, a function, and the onload event, I was able to create a random background generator that sets the background to one of four images each time the page is loaded. The content of the page is held in a div that has a fixed width of 50% and is floated to the right, leaving a view of the background image on the left. Next, in the team pages, I met the requirements for the use of operators and selection structure. How I did this is by assigning each row in the selection tables a value and making them links. The code then looks for what link has been clicked in a function using an if-else structure and setting the image and inner HTML respectively. And finally, in the review page, I implemented the use of a form, data validation, and a loop. All fields in the contact info section are validated to make sure that you fill out the entire section or select the remain anonymous option. And the loop is used in setting up the array of images used in the banner. In the end, my project only met about half of my original ideas. If I were to have stuck to my original time frame for making the site, I probably would have had time to do some of the more in-depth JavaScript that dealt with clicking on links to show players or team stats instead of just showing their picture and some really basic information. With that being said, there were obviously a lot of changes made to my requirements document. Most things were simplified so that I could complete the code in time. What I found that went well was coming up with a layout. Even though I'd never used a fixed background image with a main content div before, I thought it turned out really well. Also, having four pages that are exactly the same in layout helped get back some of the lost time. The high point on the project for me was setting up the random background generator on the index page. It ended up being a really simple function, but I just really like how it turned out. The biggest challenge for me was procrastination. With all the new games and Netflix releases in the past month, I found it really hard to turn my TV off and focus on doing this project. So if I were to do this project again, I would want to spend more time on it, looking into JavaScript that would alter content of a table, which would give me the ability to make like dynamic or changing stats graphics. For example, where the team captain sections are on the team pages, instead of just having their names and numbers, kind of display some of their current or past stats, touchdowns, interceptions, things like that. But other than that, I take a lot of pride in my final project.